Okay, I'm Sam with Mesa Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Pat here is going to be showing us how we can potentially get a couple more years out of our tank water heater. So he's going to talk me through this whole process so you can do it yourself and you don't have to call us. All right, Pat, so tell me a little bit about this. So we're looking at some copper up here. We've got a shutoff valve. Is this what a typical water heater would look like in somebody's home?
It is. So basically what we're trying to do here, guys, over time, inside of this is a tank, and what will happen is a sediment will build up in the bottom of the tank. And so what we're trying to achieve here is to get that sediment out of your tank so it'll last longer and you can have cleaner hot water. And how we do that is, first step is we would make sure that our valve on top of the water heater is closed. Now you want to make sure it's the cold side. Usually it'll be labeled or have a blue tag on it. But you're going to want to go up there and turn it to the closed position just like that.
So how do you know it's closed, Pat?
Well, basically anytime it's going horizontally to the pipe, it's usually closed. That's how 90% of valves are made. If it's basically the flow
perpendicular,
of water goes with the flow of the handle. So
oh, perfect.
no
Okay.
flow.
Perfect. Okay.
So
we need to cut that off.
Yes. So once you've got this guy cut off, you're still going to have some water pressure, so you got to be careful. But the next step you're going to do is attach a water hose to the drain at the bottom.
My water hose. You can use any type of water hose. It's just a regular hose bib.
Yeah, these hoses work great. It's actually a washing machine hose. A lot of technicians use these to do it.
A lot of times in your basement, you're going to have a floor drain. So you're going to want a hose that's long enough to get to that floor drain. All right, so I've gotten it tight. What do I do now, Pat?
All right, so the next step you're going to do is open the valve.
So this valve right here, sometimes you have a handle and sometimes you have to use a screwdriver, right, Pat?
Exactly.
So this is one that we have to use a screwdriver. So you're going to open that valve, and I just turned it 90 degrees. And then what's going to happen when I turn the valve, Pat?
Actually, nothing is going to happen yet.
Oh.
Because it's like a straw when you put your finger on the top of it. You're going to need to give it some way to breathe. And so a good way is this T&P valve that's on the side of your water heater. If you just open that guy up, it'll give it some air to breathe, and then water will flow out of the hose.
So how long does it usually take to drain, Pat?
You want to get every drop of water out of it if you can. So you're going to want to give it a good 30 minutes until the water stops coming out of the hose. At that point, you know you've gotten all the water out of it. You're still not done. Once you've got it basically all the water removed from the tank, you're going to want to leave that hose in the floor drain and turn the water back on. What that's going to do is kind of blow some water through there, get that rust, and push it out of the hose.
So you need to leave it on, not how I took it off.
It's okay.
So open up. So we need to open up so the cold side, the cold water is going to flow in like it normally would, but it's going to flow out and it's going to push all that sediment at the bottom out. Okay, cool.
And sometimes it's good to just turn it off, on, a couple of times.
Will you leave the TMP valve open while you're doing this?
You can. You're going to want to make sure you close it when you fill it back up, obviously, or water will blow out of there. But as long as the tank is empty and you're just getting that sediment out the bottom, it's actually good to have it open. It'll give it some air to breathe and kind of push it out of there.
Okay. So once we've got the sediment out, what do? We take the hose off and then we close the valve?
We are done now, so we're just going to put everything just like it was before we started. So
we close the valve.
Close that valve is number one.
Close this.
Close our T&P valve, and then open the water valve back up.
So it'll be like this. When we're closing all of these valves, it'll be in the perpendicular position, off, so against the flow. Then you turn it on, and then your tank is going to fill up, and then it starts heating from there, right, Pat?
Well, there's one more step you're going to want to do in the process, and that's going to be to open a faucet while the tank is filling up, or else it's basically going to fill half with air and your tank won't fill up. And then when you go to use the hot water later, it's going to spray and spurt at you and get you with hot water. So if you just crack a faucet and then turn this on and wait till you see a steady stream of water coming out with no air. Once that's done, you can close the faucet and you have now flushed your water heater, and hopefully we'll get a couple extra years out of it.